Yo guys, what's going on? Got a Nokia black deck profile for you guys. This deck is focused on, of course, the new white tamer card Nokia from BT5 Battle of Omni, as well as the black Greymon lines. Not only black War Greymon, but also regular blocker War Greymon here, and just a whole lot of shenanigans, reducing your cost with Nokia, playing Agumons for free, and going into your powerful Omnimons to end off the game. So let's go ahead and get into it. So for the Digi-Eggs, we have 4 copies of Starter Deck Kapurimon, as well as 1 copy of BT2 Kapurimon. These guys effectively do the same thing, just giving you an extra 1000 DP boost to your Digimon. The Starter Deck one I do prefer in this deck just because I am playing so many blockers. You'll see as we get to the level 6 lineup, gaining the DP on your turn just by having the blocker effect is much more reasonable than having to have Reboot, because as of now, the only inherited Reboot Digimon is Toy Agumon, and otherwise you have to rely on your... So that is it for the level 2s. For the level 3s, I'm playing 4 copies of Toy Agumon. I think he is the best inherited Digimon for sure as far as level 3s goes, because he just has such a strong ability. The effect of Reboot allows your Digimon to unsuspend during your opponent's unsuspend phase, so this is really good for all of your blockers, for your Dark Tyrannomon, your Metal Greymon, your War Greymon, etc. And it just helps you dodge so many nasty effects that otherwise, would give you trouble. Things like Retaliation, or just a powerful Digimon running over your dudes. And so then we're playing 4 more copies of Toy Agumon. Lots of Agumons in this deck. This is the starter deck Toy Agumon. This is the one where at the end of your opponent's turn, if they did not attack, you get to draw 1. So it really helps with the consistency of this deck, just getting an extra draw every single turn. And then if you stack this with your Greymon, the starter deck Greymon, it gets you an extra +2 every single end of opponent's turn. It just basically forces your opponent to attack. Otherwise, you gain advantage of them not attacking. But if they do attack, you usually have a couple of blockers out. So that's kind of the strategy. They're just putting them in a really bad position like that. So then, for the other rookies, I'm playing 2 copies of Chumon because I do think he's still quite relevant against things like Lord Nightmon or War Greymon, decks that use cards like Blinding Ray or Hammer Spark or Jack Raid. Lilith Loop is going around, so this card counters a lot of those strategies. And then lastly, for the Agumons, I'm playing 4 copies of Starter Deck Agumon. This is the Agumon with blockers, so this is really nice, getting to play him off of Nokia for free, and then just having an extra blocker. I'm also not playing Gatsumon in this build because we do have the blocker Agumon. I think this guy is much better, even though he is only 1000 DP. Just the fact that he is an Agumon helps out a lot. And then lastly, 1 tech copy of BT5 Agumon. This is a red rookie, so you're basically only ever going to be playing him from hand, not evolving him since all your eggs are black, but he has the effect of on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and add a Greymon as well as an Omnimon. You're playing lots of Omnimons, lots of Greymons, so this just helps out with consistency. You could definitely bump this up to more than 1 copy, but this is all I felt was necessary. So that is it for the level 3s. For the level 4s, I'm playing 4 copies of Dark Tyrannomon. This is our 1 evolution black blocker for the deck. The 1 evolution cards for the blockers are really, really powerful because it just helps you build up into your big plays much quicker. The only downside being he is only 5000 DP. But in this deck, you have access to lots of other blockers, so you don't really have to worry about, maybe if you Digivolve over him, then you're, kind of out of luck. But nope, you've got plenty of other blockers at your disposal. So Dark Tyrannomon is one of the few non-Greymon cards that I am actually playing in this deck. And for the Greymons, I'm playing 4 copies of BT2 Greymon. This guy, if this Digimon has Reboot, it gains jamming as well, so it just helps you be offensive as well as defensive. So pair this with something like Blocker War Greymon, or any Digimon with Reboot that you're stacking with the Toy Agumon inherited effect. It's just such a powerful ability because it basically guarantees that you will not die from a security check. So that is just absolutely fantastic. And then lastly, I'm playing 4 copies of Starter Deck Greymon. This is the evil Greymon, I like to call him. So this guy, he's not a blocker or anything fancy like that. He has the same effect as the Toy Agumon, where at the end of your opponent's turn, you do get to draw a card if they did not attack. Now, this guy is mainly just good because he is a Greymon, so being able to reduce the cost with Nokia makes him super, super nice, because you can make him a 1 or potentially even a 0 cost, and not only that, but he's also only a 4-2 play. So that's going to do it for the level 4s. For the level 5s, I'm playing 4 copies of set 2 Metal Greymon. Again, this goes with the whole Toy Agumon and Greymon package. Your basic goal here is to get all of those effects stacked onto one Digimon, or at least pair them with your War Greymon, because not only does he has reboot, but he also gives the effect of if this Digimon has reboot, it gets security attack +1. So even if you just have him and you have the Greymon underneath, this guy can swing for 7,000, but with jamming, so that's really nice, and he'll unsuspend himself during your opponent's turn. But if you pair it with the War Greymon or just anything with reboot with Toy Agumon, you get an extra security check, so it can be very, very devastating, giving your level 6s and level 7s an extra security check. So it really helps push offensively, even though this is mainly a defense focused deck because you're playing so many blockers. And then I'm also playing another 4 copies of Metal Greymon, but this one is the starter deck one, of course. He is effectively a blocker. He has the on Digivolve effect. You can basically make one of your Digimon a blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn. So he's a blocker for 1 turn, 7,000 blocker. I prefer him to Andromon in this deck because even though Andromon's a really nice blocker, of course, like I've been saying, he is a Greymon card. So it just synergizes with the deck much better. Searchable off the Agumon, reducible off of Nokia, things like that. And then it's also a really cool interaction when you can make some of your level 6s and 7s a 12, 13, 14,000 blocker, which is a pretty sweet effect. So that's going to do it for the level 5s. And then for the level 6, I am playing 4 copies of Blocker War Greymon. So this guy is just absolutely amazing. He is the only 3 evolution cost level 6 I'm playing in this deck, and you'll see why in a little bit. But he has 2 effects, just blocker and reboot. Simple, short and sweet, but very powerful nonetheless. So he has blocker, so he's 11,000 blocker during your opponent's turn. If you've got something like Tai, you can make him 12,000, and not only that, but you can swing with him and not having to worry about blocking during your opponent's turn because he will unsuspend himself due to the reboot ability. So this is just super nice. And then when you pair it with things like Greymon and Metal Greymon, it just becomes even more powerful. So even though this guy doesn't really see a lot of play in the meta, I still think he is definitely a card worth running. Now for the other Greymons, I'm playing 2 copies of Blitz Greymon. So this is the starter deck Blitz Greymon. No one ever really plays this card, but I think it does have its merit. First of all, it is a 4 evolution cost, and you'll see a decent amount of 4 evolution costs in this deck. The main reason why you can get away with these cards now is because of Nokia. So you can effectively make your 4 cost cards a 3 cost during your turn, which is much more reasonable, or even potentially less if you have multiple Nokias on your side of the field. But he has 2 really cool effects. First of all, he has security attack +1, which when you pair it with his 12,000 DP stat line is just absolutely fantastic. And second of all, he has the Digiburst 2 ability, which not many people know about, but you can trash 2 cards to give one of your Digimon plus 4,000 until the end of your opponent's next turn. So that DP boost lasts during their turn as well. So that is relevant for your blockers. If you give him plus 4,000, makes him a 15,000 blocker during your opponent's turn, and then it makes it also much easier to handle yellow matchups because then you can just stack the DP boost, and then it's very unlikely your opponent will be able to get rid of like a 15 or 19,000 War Greymon during their turn. So that's just really, really sick. And then I'm also playing 1 copy of Red Blitz Greymon. This guy has piercing as well as the on Digivolve effect of de-Digivolve something on your opponent's side of the field by 2 stages. So that's really nice. And then lastly, I'm also playing just 1 copy of the new Black War Greymon. So this guy's really cool. Again, these guys are 4 costs, but because you're playing things like Nokia, it makes it much more manageable. He also has security attack +1 and the inherent effect of reboot. So 12,000 stat line with security attack +1, you just swing at your opponent, unsuspend him during your opponent's unsuspend phase, and again, if you got Metal Greymon or the Greymon underneath them, he can get jamming or potentially check up to 3 cards. So that is just absolutely fantastic. And that is it for the level 6s. For the level 7s, I'm playing 1 copy of Omnimon's Word, as well as 2 copies of Omnimon Alter S. Now, just so you guys know, you were not allowed to use Japanese cards in official events, but I just wanted to show this guy on camera. This just looks so dang cool. Like, look at that guy. But anyways, so 2 copies of Alter S and 1 copy of Word. I really like this lineup. These guys are fantastic because, of course, they're Omnimon, so they synergize with Nokia and your Searcher Agumon, things like that, but they also have insane effects. Zwart is new to BT5, he has the effect where you can mill the top 3 cards of your deck and revive up to 2 Digimon with a play cost of 8 or less, so long as they are purple or black. So that can be basically anything in the deck, from Metal Greymon to the Reboot Metal Greymon to all of these cards right here. You can bring back your blockers and, set up for a simultaneous offense and defensive play. I really like Zwart, so I'm debating bumping him up to 2, but also Alter S is just such a win condition. He is a board wipe. Lots of people don't expect him, are not respecting him or the black deck at all. They, they see black and they go like, oh, this guy is not playing a very competitive deck. However, Alter S is still just an absolute menace of a card. He Digivolves your opponent's entire field and then deletes everything with 5,000 or lower. So effectively, you need Hogmon in some ways, but it's just so powerful. So I think these guys are absolutely insane, especially when you can reduce their cost from like a 6 to like even like a 4 or a 5 or something. That can just be absolutely fatal to your opponent. So I think these guys are still extremely powerful. So that is it for the Digimon. And then for the Tamers, just playing a small lineup. 3 copies of Nokia Shiramine and 1 copy of Tai Kamiya. So these guys are really powerful. What Nokia does is she is the new white tamer out of BT5. On play, you get to play a Agumon or a Gabumon from your hand. In this deck, it's going to be Agumons. Unfortunately, cannot play Toy Agumon. Has to be only Agumon. But anyways, and then when you're evolving into a Greymon or an Omnimon or a Garurumon, but again, not relevant in this deck, you can suspend her to reduce that cost by 1. That does stack, so if you got 3 Nokias, you can evolve like your blocker War Greymon for free. You can evolve Omnimon, Alter S for 3 cost or something like that. So it's just really crazy. And then Tai, of course, to set your memory at 3 every single turn, and then give your Digimon plus 1,000 during your opponent's turn. So it really helps out with your black blockers play. But I cannot say enough good things about this card. Nokia is just absolutely amazing in so many ways. So guys, that is going to do it for the list. So guys, that is going to do it for the deck profile. Hopefully you did enjoy, and let me know down in the comments if you've got suggestions for alternative cards you could play, or just anything like that. Some other cards I was messing around with were Tai and Matt, Millenniumon here, Chaosmon, of course, if you are looking for a more budget alternative to a level 7, and then the promo Black War Greymon. Those are all valid options, but this is the list I've stuck with, and I've really been enjoying it, testing it over the past couple of days. So anyways, guys, that is going to be the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.